Hey there! In today's video, I challenged myself to create a game, but the idea for said game would be provided by ChatGPT. So, I told ChatGPT to think of a unique 2D video game idea. The result was a puzzle platformer called Elemental Rhapsody. In the game, the player could control the 4 elements, so fire, water, earth and air, and they could traverse through the level with these elements' help. I decided to simplify ChatGPT's idea, as I wouldn't have had enough time to add the enchanting soundtrack or other features that were suggested. With all that said, let's begin. I started with creating the player character. Thankfully, with Godot 4, the movement for 2D platformers is already pre-coded, so I only had to change a couple of variables like the jump height, for example. I added the so-called elemental gauntlet, a white circle at the bottom of the screen, which the player would use to control the elements. This was also suggested by ChatGPT. I made this gauntlet change color based on what element the player was currently using, so red for fire, blue for water, brown for earth and white for air. Then came the elements. I started with the easiest one, fire. I drew some quick fireballs in GIMP and coded the player to be able to shoot these fireballs towards the mouse cursor's direction. The next element on the list was earth. I made the player be able to move the platform they are standing on up and down. With the water element, I made it so you could place ice platforms that would disappear after a couple of seconds. These platforms couldn't be moved with the earth element. Originally, the player could place an infinite number of ice platforms, but later, due to balance reasons, I changed this to only allow one ice platform on the map at any given time. The final element was air. I left this for last because it was the most difficult. It was not hard to code per se, but I had to find an idea that would both fit ChatGPT's description while also fitting in the mechanics of the game. I originally wanted the player to be able to move faster and double jump while this element was active, but I eventually scrapped this idea because both the earth and water elements were already connected to mobility, and I didn't want any element to feel redundant. I eventually added boxes to the map, which could be moved around with the mouse cursor while the air element was active. Originally, you could stand on said boxes, but I eventually removed their collision because again, I didn't want this element to be connected to mobility. The next and final step was to create a level in which the player could use all of their abilities. For this, I added some walls that could be destroyed by the player's fireballs, and also a button that would open a door. The button could be activated in 2 different ways. You could stand on it and press it using the earth element, or if there was a box nearby and the button itself was out of reach, you could drag that box onto it with the air element to activate it. With these features in place, I put together a small level which looks like this. So basically, that's the game. It isn't finished by any means, there are basically no graphics and I didn't bother adding a main menu and a tutorial, but if you would like to see a complete version, make sure to tell me in the comment section and I might just turn this little project into a full release. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and consider supporting me on Patreon. It helps a ton. Goodbye and take care.